Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Point and Click, a Telltale podcast. I am Jordan C. Johnson.
And I am Adam Razak.
And today we are talking the fourth episode of Tales from the Borderlands Season 1, Escape Plan Bravo.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was kind of all over the place on this episode. I don't know about you. I will say everything before they get to Hyperion is I was just full on like, I hate this. I hate this episode, and I hate this series. Yeah, I was like, this. It feels like a Marvel movie.
Okay.
Like everything is so jokey, and like nothing is taken seriously. And like I started after a while, I was like, I can't stand this. This is boring. I don't care anymore. And I was also just like, at that point, I was dreading having to spend like the next, hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, playing through this again. And then it kind of just started drifting by once they get to Hyperion. And then when the episode ended, by that point, I was like, holy shit, it's over already. Like I thought there was a lot more to go at the ending scene, but so it improved for me.
I'm the opposite. First of all, I think this episode is way too long. I clocked it about 2 hours. It felt much longer to me. And I still think the episode is all-right. It's just everything. I liked everything until they get to Hyperion. And then when they get to Hyperion, I'm like, okay.
So the exact opposite. And like, look,
yeah.
To be clear, I still don't like love it or anything when they get to Hyperion. It just becomes kind of like breezy.
It's tolerable.
I'm not really thinking about it too much at that point.
Well, I mean, it has some moments that I like when they get to Hyperion, but a lot of it is just, I think it's more or less just because I already know what's going to happen, and I just don't think this particular storyline has those big bang moments like in Walking Dead or like Wolf Among Us, stuff like that. Right. It just, I mean, aside from like a couple little moments here and there, but nothing really just excited me overall in this episode. And I again, this is another situation where I used to really, really like this episode, but playing it for like maybe like the fourth time now, I'm like, okay, yeah. If I never come back to this series again, I think that's okay. That's fine.
I'm with you. Like I said, this episode was fine for me, but I'm definitely over this this season.
I'm still looking forward to the finale, just because I know the finale is something that I do really enjoy. But just this episode, just these last two episodes for me have just been like, yeah, okay, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I have specific problems. Like, okay, for example, the scene that for me was the worst during that stretch I was talking about is the part where you have to get Vasquez's face. And for me, that whole scene, I was like, I just hate this. I hate how jokey it is. I hate how, like, they keep doing this, like, fake, like, I'm gonna throw up. Like, the whole thing was just, like, it was like this mix of like just kind of off-putting like gross violence mixed with like just like callous jokiness and lightheartedness. I don't know. It really just kind of started the episode off on a sour note for me.
See, I don't really care for that scene overall, but I like the moments when he's like pulling the face off of the whatever, the psycho or whatever the hell they're called.
It's
or
fine.
When they're like running away and then they like blow up Vasquez's body. I think it's like little moments like that I think are funny, but just again, it's so long. Like it takes a long ass time to even get to the main credits sequence. Like I felt like half the fucking episode went by before it finally got to that. And then there's even more after it, and I'm like, wow, that was way longer than I remember. Like I remember it just being bam, bam, they go up into space, and that's when the real shit happens. But it's just this long, drawn out beginning that I'm like, wow, no, I don't remember it being like this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't feel that length at all when I was doing this one because, like I said, it just kind of breezed by once I got over that hump of getting off of Pandora.
I don't know. There's just something about Pandora, just the overall like ruggedness of it, that I find honestly more appealing than being like this heist in a spaceship. Which, I mean, that's fine, but I like the whole space western kind of thing. It's when they start getting into like a big heist is when I'm more like.
See, I think part of it may be that like the stuff that I have said from the beginning that I was sort of interested in this series is not what the series pushes, and a lot of what I like isn't really happening on Pandora. It's more like the choices you have to make about your relationships once you get onto Hyperion, and you have those choices with Yvette and whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I know it's not going to go anywhere, but still, like all the stuff in Pandora for me just feels like a real drag.
Okay.
Especially like all the times when you're being like held prisoner by that guy in the mask and just like all that stuff. I'm just like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like this is longer than it needs to be.
I keep forgetting that that's even a thing. Like I played the damn thing multiple times, and I keep forgetting that is the in media res where we come into this thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy, right? And we don't see him enough to really like have that go anywhere in this episode. It's just once at the beginning, and then that's it. Which I guess I should be fine with because it's mercifully brief. Right. But it's again too long, way too long. We don't need that moment where fucking Reese is trying to convince Fiona to run zigzag, and then he gets beat up and tied up, and I'm like, can we just move on from this, please?
Right.
It's
yeah, exactly.
It's just okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I don't want to agree on this because I really want to like this series a lot more than I'm ended up doing right now, but breaks my heart because I this was like a long time. This was like my favorite Telltale series, and now I'm like yeah, nah, not anymore.
Yeah, I know you were high on this. Like as soon as we started this whole podcast, you were always talking about how much you love Borderlands, and yeah. It's. I mean, it just. I think. It really just like I feel like maybe I'm sort of like in a heightened state of awareness for this stuff because like the first Marvel movie I've seen in a long time was Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it was Marvel. It was terrible. It was completely empty. It was devoid of like vision. It was just like so jokey and light, and nothing was taken seriously. And I'm just like, I don't have time for this. This is not fun or enjoyable. Like this, I get nothing out of this. And
what was the last one you saw?
The last one I saw before this was Age of Ultron.
Ugh.
Yeah, and that was I saw that and I was like, "Yep, done. I don't need to watch any more of these."
Well, you've missed two really good ones and then two shit ones.
So. I doubt that very highly.
I really like Ant-Man. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy too.
I'm gonna watch Ant-Man just because Greg Turkington is in it, but I'm not looking forward to actually sitting through the movie.
Good. That's one of the ones that feels like someone human actually was involved with it instead of just this corporate machine. Where like I know they like kicked Edgar Wright off of the thing, but you like really feel his presence throughout the thing more than probably like most of the other Marvel movies. Same with like James Gunn, even though I'm not crazy about the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think 2 is a big improvement. Just much more scaled back on the hyper goofy awareness shit from the first one. It's some of it's still there, but it's not as like in your face about it as it is in the first one. At least for me, it isn't.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Civil War and Doctor Strange are just dull. Those aren't even those don't really have the in your face. Well, actually, no. Doctor Strange kind of does, but it's just so dull. Just it's just dull. And I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but I never want to see him in any of these movies ever again.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just. I mean, this is how I feel. Like this is what I'm talking about on this episode because it feels like that kind of thing to me. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think it's anywhere near as obnoxious as it is in like Homecoming, where it's just the opening is just him narrating, like talking a mile a minute during that like the handheld camera bullshit part. I don't think anything in these Borderlands games comes even close to something like that. Like Homecoming makes me cringe. Like I was like cringing in my fucking seat watching this. But to Borderlands, it's like some of it gets a little too much, but I'm never taken to that mindset where I'm like, I just want to leave. I just want to go and never look back.
Yeah, I mean, I like, it's not as horrible as the Marvel movies. Like I said, it breezed by for me at least, and those Marvel movies feel
God
long
damn,
for
did
me.
Homecoming feel long?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just that I'm just really put off right now just by that really like meaningless jokiness, and this episode has a lot of that.
See, I still like the humor a lot in this series, and I guess I just don't see it as being as obnoxious as you do. But
sure,
like I said,
I don't know. It's just like it's sort of like with Homecoming, where like tonal shifts would happen for seemingly no rhyme or reason other than just like it feels like it's put together by a formula. So it's just kind of like, okay, I guess now we're grim, and now we're funny, and now we're sad. Like that's just kind of how the movie rolls by, and like just kind of transitioning from joke to Scooter's dead, more jokes. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just it felt very, very uneven and unappealing to me.
See, that's the one bit where I think it flows rather like comfortably for me from one thing to the next. Like it reminds me a lot of the opening of Up. I think it does it very subtly, where it's the whole like wife dies at the beginning, but then it's like a very like small subtle progression back to like being lighthearted and goofy, where it's like the very small moments where like Carl's getting out of bed and he's got to like stretch his back and stuff like that. It's like small little jokes, nothing that's like ha 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 like in your face, but it's small, and it kind of like easily guides you back into the major mindset of this series.
Yes, but I kind of feel like that's what I don't like about it. Like, I don't like that they're just it's like this accretion of little jokes. You know what I mean? Like, they're not big, but they're constant. And I think that is worse for me. I'd rather have big, goofy jokes than just this constant little, like, assuring you that this is light and fluffy. Like, that's what puts me off about it. Whereas this is like gonna sound like a weird example, but like if you look at the movie Warcraft, right? The movie Warcraft. After watching all these movies lately that are just so jokey like this, and just like I think like cloyingly, obnoxiously jokey, where they're like it seems like they're trying to like kind of really stress how fun they are by throwing these jokes in your face constantly. It's kind of really refreshing to look at Warcraft and see how that movie achieves, like, there are scenes that movie that just have a light tone where you can tell that characters are like interacting with each other humorously, and they're just kind of being playful with each other, but they're not like, there are no jokes, there are no like laughs, you know what I mean? It's more just like characters being playful with each other, and that is like such like a sort of naturalistic, refreshing respite for me. Like, and it's something I wish movies did more often now. It's something that used to happen a lot in older movies, where you don't need to have like a big joke or a laugh to be light. You're just kind of playful, and you enjoy watching the characters be playful with each other. And that's something I feel like doesn't happen a lot now. And I think that applies to this series. Like, the humor is so sort of laboredly light and like and full of little laughs, and that just puts me off. I think it's exhausting after a while, honestly. Like, there's just I just need more timing, and I need more craft in that tone. It can't just be constant jokes all the time.
I can't speak for Warcraft just because I haven't seen it yet, but I will definitely agree that like if we're gonna go back to Homecoming, it's like it doesn't feel natural anymore. It just feels like this whole idea of Marvel jokes is just there just to be funny. It's not there to like further the character development or anything, or even to to provide a juxtaposition of like an ease of tension or anything like that. Like, there's that amazing moment in Return of the King when Legolas takes down the giant elephant all on his own, and when he like slides off, and you have Gimli just go, that still only counts as one. Like, that's you really don't get a lot of moments like that anymore. It's like if Marvel made that scene, it would be like Legolas gets on top of the elephant and starts dancing or something. Or it would be something like that, where it's the joke interrupts the pacing of it. It doesn't feel natural. It's not there to like serve as a a progression back into the overall flow of the thing. It's not there to ease up tension. It's not there to. It's like Up. It's not there to like Up is there to make it. So it's like so not just grim and dark and depressing in the opening, but
that's a great point. Like that's exactly it. It's the jokes in Marvel are to the point where they're removing you from like the experience of what's happening in the movie. Yeah, you know, and like in the narrative and in whatever. I mean, not that Marvel movies have much style or atmosphere to speak of, but you know, you get what my point. But whereas like something like Warcraft, when it's just like these characters engaging in it, same thing with Lord of the Rings, you're not being removed from the experience of that. You're being immersed in it even further, because you're just kind of living in the, you know, that the lightness they have with each other. Yeah. Well, you're not being removed from the seriousness of, you know, the actual narrative at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like something that you believe these characters would do, and it just feels like it belongs in this world. Right. And okay, if I were to name an example that I think does this right in Marvel, like the first Iron Man, there's that bit where he attacks well, not him attacks, but it's these terrorists attacking the village, and then he comes in, and that scene is meant to demonstrate the powers of Iron Man, and you've had like an hour of build up with like, what can this suit do? And then like just the full-fledged force of Iron Man comes in, and then there's like the moments where like the tank comes in and it's like shooting at him and it doesn't do shit, and he just turns around and blows it up with like one little missile. Like that is how you do it, because that's showing something that serves a purpose to it. Or like the bit when like all the targets go up with the terrorists taking hostages and he just kills them like that. It's meant to be funny, but it's also meant to be, you know, like a payoff after like an hour of build-up, and that's how you do it. You don't do it where it's just joke throughout the whole thing. It stops to mean something after a while, and it just becomes boring, which is definitely the case with Homecoming. It's definitely the case with Doctor Strange. It's the case with Thor 2. It's the case with a good chunk of the Marvel movies now. Hell, Suicide Squad did that too, and I hated it in that too. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, the first Iron Man is like still one of the only Marvel movies I like. So
it's the best one. With you.
Yeah, of the Marvel Studios ones anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I probably think that's my favorite overall Marvel movie. Maybe.
I'd still put Hulk and Blade 2 above it.
I don't know. For me, it'd probably be like Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Oh shit! Yes, and the first two Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Blade 2 is great. I haven't seen Hulk in years, so I can't comment on Hulk.
Are the X-Men movies Marvel? They are, right?
They are.
Okay. Yeah, then I would also put the first X-Men over.
Fucking Logan is funnier than Spider-Man Homecoming. Logan is grim as shit. It is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we've discussed some Marvel movies somehow.
Yeah, I mean, we probably should have saved that for Guardians of the Galaxy, the fucking Telltale series, but... well, there you have it. That's we could probably skip Guardians of the Galaxy now. That's our whole discussion on it. Right there.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like, you know, I mean... Yeah, there's not like a whole lot to talk about in this episode besides those tonal issues for me. I will say I don't know how I feel about the finger gun fight.
I liked it the first time I saw it. I thought it was funny. It's just this time I was like, can we just move on, please?
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah, it's a lot longer than I remember. I don't remember I like the idea. I think the idea behind it is funny. I think in concept it is funny. It's just playing it for
me of like those paintball episodes of Community, or like, you know, any other show that like they basically create like these big like action movie set pieces without actually doing it. Like they're like imaginary set pieces basically, which I think is a cool idea. And I like you. I like it in theory. But yeah, I'm not sure it really belongs in this episode. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because the whole episode is so jokey, but I feel like it's just, I think what bugs me so much about that in this episode is like what's actually happening in the narrative really shouldn't be all that jokey. I mean, like Yvette basically is admitting to like double crossing you the whole time.
Yeah,
you're having to like go like rip Vasquez's face off. You're like, I mean, there's like you're going back to Hyperion and this like it's like this tense situation, and you're like Handsome Jack is like taking over the end.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot in this episode that should be being treated that lightly.
Yeah.
But like it just is because that's the tone they've decided on. And
well, that's just it. It's not tense. That's the thing.
It should be tense, but it isn't.
It's like, yeah, they'll be fine. Scooter won't be, but I already knew that, so.
Which is disappointing because he's the best character and now he's gone.
I still love that death scene. Like as its own self-contained thing, I think that was like fucking wonderfully done. Just Telltale's great at death scenes. Like there's one even like in the second Guardians of the Galaxy episode that I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the Telltale I like, not this other bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like they do death really goddamn well. It's just it just feels out of place in this episode. Kind of.
Yeah, it does, and I think that really spoils it for me.
Yeah, but it's like that slow creeping realization of what's going to happen, and the fact that Scooter is like so he's like so accepting of his fate that just makes it all the more sad for me. It's just it's like you're gonna have a character like cry and complain about it, but it's the fact that like Scooter's like, look, this is going to happen whether I like it or not, and you need to go over there and you need to eject the rocket or you are all going to die. Like, I have to die. This is the way it has to be. And just, like, it's, God damn it. It's great. It's so great. And it's in this episode, and I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, like, I don't really know what else. Like, I feel like there are no real big decisions in this. Like, there's just kind of nothing.
Well, the biggest decision, obviously, is what clothes did you pick for Sasha and Fiona.
Yeah, I don't know.
I went with the blue and black, the one that has the fishnets. Mm-hmm. So I went with that. That took me a little while. I'm actually not joking. That took me a little while to figure out which one I wanted.
I chose that one for Sasha, and then I already chosen Fiona's clothes in the last episode, so I just stuck with those.
See, I'm like, well, it's gonna be a heist, so I have to change their wardrobe. I guess I feel like obligated to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fashion. Yeah.
The most crucial decision in all of Telltale.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it like if Telltale did introduce some more customization options in all of their games, like in general.
Yeah.
I think that would help a little bit too with even like immersion and investment.
Sure.
But I mean, at this
it's only in specific situations that they do it nowadays. Even if they do it, which I don't think limited. They've done it since Batman. Actually, I think Batman was the last one they did it for. Which that was.
I mean, it seems like it might be another case of just being limited based on all the platforms they publish to, and it just not being a priority. Which is I get, but as we've said a million times, like I wish they would ditch this like mobile thing and just make a real game.
Yeah. Anytime I see them, even like with the new Batman series and the new Walking Dead, they're like, oh yeah, it's coming to Android and iOS, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I know what to expect because they can't go like so far out of their way to where it will just like break somebody's phone with how much of a narrative spider web they create. It's not possible as long as they keep doing the goddamn mobile thing, which god damn it, going back to that shit again. Fucking Telltale.
Yeah.
So I wish I really so this is where like it confuses me so much. Again, it's just so much potential is there, and yet it's like Telltale just does not want to go there. They're just they don't want to alienate the mobile devices and all that.
I'm sure. I mean, like I said, I'm sure they're making so much money off the mobile versions. I mean, they probably don't have a lot of motivation to branch out. You know, like this is probably the most successful they've ever been. I mean, yeah. Why should they change it if it's working for them?
I mean, it's a common pitfall in the not even just like games industry, just media in general, where it's like you oversaturate the market, everyone's gonna get tired of you. Like you're like the people that really like genuinely care about wanting you to progress and make something better. It's just they're going to leave, and I'm already like seeing like the exodus from Telltale. That it's like the people that have been around since season 1 of The Walking Dead are just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's another Telltale.
It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of happening too with Marvel. I've heard a lot more people talk about feeling sort of like, I don't know, maybe
burned out.
It feels like fatigue. Like I hear people talk about Marvel movies now. Like with Spider-Man, like, yeah, I liked it. It was good. It was well made. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck that.
Right. It's just like, dude, just be honest. Like, just say you didn't like it. You know? Like, everybody's so afraid to just be honest about these movies, and I feel like, yeah, it's very possible Telltale could get there. They're there for me. Like, it's not the point where I'm like, you know, they're terrible like Marvel, but it's just like I just don't really care.
Yeah. That's even worse. That's like indifference is just like, it's like, ugh. But it's, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I would group like even the other, there's not just like Marvel Studios. There's like Marvel as a thing with like them coming in with other stuff too. And DC, which I don't know. Superheroes in general, I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like people have been recently asking me like, oh, you know, have you seen the new Infinity Wars trailer that leaked and all? And I'm just like, no, I just
don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I just don't care. I'm like,
all I care about is that Justice League action, but that new trailer is very concerning.
Yeah, oh boy, it was like, I watched that. Yeah, I didn't even really care for the first trailer, but I just saw this one. I'm just like, I am not seeing it at all.
I love the first trailer, but this one I felt like the first thing right away I was like, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like they very clearly dialed back like Snyder's cinematography. Like it looks much bright. Yeah, it looks much brighter and more colorful. It's like, ooh, this is not a good sign.
It doesn't help too that I understand why he's not going to be involved with the majority of like reshoots and everything, but
it's very concerning. Like
it doesn't even feel like his movie anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and literally, there's nobody worse to do it than Joss Whedon. He is the complete opposite of Zack Snyder. Like, that is just an awful, awful decision.
I have more faith in him than I would like Trevorrow or fucking Vogue Roberts or whatever the fuck his name is.
I mean, I guess, but I think both Avengers movies are unwatchable shit. Like, I can't.
I really like the first one. I don't like Age of Ultron, but I really like that first one.
Yeah, not me. And I mean, and Whedon is just such a TV director. I mean, which is, again, the complete opposite of what Snyder is. I mean, Snyder is like fiercely cinematic and idiosyncratic, and Whedon is just like a TV guy. Like, that's just kind of what he's always been, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking with a guy that hates Zack Snyder besides Watchmen and Dawn of Justice. Everything else from Snyder, I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, he's the best.
Oh, God.
One of my favorite directors ever.
Oh, I know. I just... It was not that long ago you and I were on the same page with him, but...
I know. I've come around.
Yeah. Have you?
I have.
Have you? Okay.
I've grown up a lot, Adam.
Oh, boy. No, I hope Justice League is good. I don't think it will be, but I think I think Dawn of Justice is just going to be like that one thing that it's like the last hurrah for something like really like spectacular in the DC verse, and then it's like
right. I mean, and then that reception caused them to fuck up Suicide Squad, which should have been great.
Yeah.
And then it made them make Wonder Woman, which is like a totally like watered down version.
Haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, so
yeah. And then now we're gonna have this, which is going to be totally compromised by Joss Whedon, and that's probably going to be about the end of DC for me.
I don't know. Like I'm still looking forward to that James Wan Aquaman movie, just because I like James Wan so much.
So
but
I like James Wan too, and I also like what's that guy's name? Jaume Collet-Serra, which I supposedly he's going to be doing Suicide Squad 2, which is interesting.
Oh, have they finally done Suicide Squad 2? Are they finally doing that?
They are. Mel Gibson turned it down.
Oh, so, that's a shame.
Yeah. So now they're getting Collet-Serra, but he's a really good director, so we'll see.
Collet-Serra, where would I know him from?
He did Nonstop. He did The Shallows. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, he's good. I hated The Shallows, but I like him in general.
I guess that could be something. It's just I don't know. Like he's
no Mel Gibson, but
no. But I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm kind of looking. And then I hear rumors that Ben Affleck is gonna leave it, and I'm like, great. The one thing I really love about the universe overall, and then they're just gonna.
He's been spineless about this whole thing since day one of BVS being released. He's just like backtracking and distancing and like apologizing. Like fuck you, man. Like just have a fucking backbone.
Nah, I love him. I love me some Ben Affleck. So as long as he's in the series, that's fine. I'll watch him. But anything else, like if they get rid of him for someone else to be in the Matt Reeves one, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like if they get like a regular like Jason Clarke or whoever, whatever. I don't like Jason Clarke, but please don't put him as Batman.
Oh God!
Please don't put.
Like I said, at this point, they've hired Matt Reeves and Joss Whedon. Like they are like the. I mean, it couldn't be worse.
I don't know. I don't hate Matt Reeves as much as you do. But I just think he's just mediocre. He's just a guy.
He's another TV guy. They're hiring TV people just like fucking Marvel does. Like, ugh.
I don't know. I don't think the problem with
worst possible thing they could do.
I don't think the problem with him. I don't think the problem with those like Apes movies isn't him. I think it's more like the writing with them. But
I think it's absolutely him. I like the first one, and then he fucking comes in with his like TV hack directing and influence, and just the whole movie just tanks for me.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of like really excellent cinematic stuff in War, and then they just fuck it up in the last half. So the opening is fucking amazing, but I
haven't seen it, and I don't really want to, but I doubt that very much.
Sure.
Dawn was just unbearable for me.
I'm more just like indifferent to Dawn. To me, it's like a reverse Avatar that's just like whatever. It's the indigenous population being evil now instead of the evil white man. So
yeah,
it's
I
just
don't even care about
mediocre.
that. Like the movie itself is just like the way it's made is just awful for me.
It's mediocre. See, like I don't know, maybe this is it's definitely just our differences when it comes to like what we see in films, but like seeing something filmed, unless it's like so obviously cheap and made for TV budget, it's like seeing like I'm someone that doesn't really like pay attention like fully to like shot composition and then in like
that's what I'm all about.
I know like color lighting and all that. I mean I'll notice it and I'll love it when I see it done for something that appeals to me, but like mainly for me, what I'm like mostly into is like character stuff and writing and all that. That's what I'm more into that.
Secondary for me. Yeah. It's like, to be honest, it's further down the list than secondary for me.
Sure.
Like character stuff, sure. I mean, it depends on the movie, but that usually is important. But yeah, writing, story, who gives a fuck?
Well, if there's great visuals to like complement all that, like it's that I'm more into that. But it's like for me, even if a movie is like super pretty and I'm just not into it, like I will not be into it. Like it's like the second half of Malick's whole career. I'm just like, pfft. Like it's gorgeous, but it's fucking dull.
I don't know how gorgeous it is. Honestly, I think Tree of Life is his last gorgeous movie.
Well, I mean like mostly like Badlands through Tree of Life. Like I think what was that, the Ben Affleck one he did? I don't even remember.
To the Wonder.
Oh yeah, that shit. But that just was like meh. Even
it's terrible.
Even like that the Christian Bale one, the
I couldn't make it.
Knight of Cups. I like that was insufferable. Like just watching that, I'm like, what? What is he even doing anymore? Like it's like the fucking delusions of an old man just being like splashed on in front of my face, and I'm just like, fuck off.
Did you see Paul Schrader's Facebook post about Song to Song?
No, I refuse to watch that bullshit.
Oh my god, it's like one sentence, and it's just like he basically said Song to Song is like. He's like, it's like watching the last few drops of urine dribbling out of an old man's penis.
Just like watching the trailer, I'm like, yeah, I've already seen this. It was called It was called Knight of Cups. It was called To the Wonder. It was called. He's basically been like remaking The Thin Red Line for like the last 20 years, and it's just annoying.
I mean, I wouldn't even be that generous. I love The Thin Red Line.
No, I love. That's his best film. That's like,
definitely
it's great. It's just like he found some kind of like what he did with that movie felt so like different and interesting, and then he's just been like aping off of that. It's the same beats over and over again for like the last 20 years. Like even like The New World, like that was my first introduction to Malick when I saw that when I was like 13, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is awful. And then like Tree of Life, watching that in theaters, I was like, yeah, it's nice and pretty, but it's like, ugh. And then I think I even saw To the Wonder in the theater, and that was fucking boring as hell. So yeah. Well, yeah. Fuck Terrence Malick. Old ass hack. Fuck that guy.
Well, I mean, he was great in his prime, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you won't hear me argue that Badlands or Days of Heaven or Thin Red Line are shit or anything like that. But those are good. Some of them great, but recently it's just been like, ugh. He's the Marvel of the art world. He just does the same shit over and over again.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, people. It's sorry.
We're so far in the weeds at this point.
I'm not even apologizing for getting off topic from Tales from the Borderlands. I'm not apologizing for the fucking people that are gonna come in and be like, "What are you talking about, Malick? There's the fucking. Why do you go into Malick expecting sense and logic?" And I'm like,
I don't want sense and logic. I just want a fucking movie that's watchable.
Yeah, please, just like
anyway.
Malick, so I think I filmed Malick in a retirement home. That'd be more interesting. That'd be better.
Well, as far as Borderlands, I think it probably goes without saying that this is yet another episode that does not touch my top 5.
It's not particularly interesting.
Yeah.
Any episodes where we like go off on these like long ass tangents, you can just assume that it's not a really interesting. It's not a really interesting episode to talk about. Like we could talk about, the choices like. Did you peel off the painting or shoot the unicorn, or who did you? What sign did you put up for Scooter's last sign or whatever? Or how did you confront Yvette? Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't mind the episode. I think it's whatever, but who fucking cares? Just anywho.
Yeah, I guess that's all I got.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not touching my top 5 either. That should be very, very, very obvious by now. I think we talked more about Terrence Malick than we did about this episode today.
Probably.
Yeah. That's a far more interesting topic, honestly.
Yeah.
Ay. Fucking Terrence Malick.
Well,
so
should I ask you the question today?
Oh, what question would that be?
Well, Adam, where can people find you?
Well, I'm around. You can find me on Twitter at RazorBladeMango and on YouTube at RazorBladeMango.
And I am on Twitter at 5th_opinion.
Cool. All right.
All right. We'll be back with the final episode
Grand
next time.
finale, which hopefully I will like. I said last time that I'm like, I know this will be the episode that I like, and then I walk back, I'm like, oh, no, never mind. Never mind. But we'll see. We'll see. Could be good.
Well,
yeah.
I'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.